NFL Championship predictions and power rankings, sort of. Welcome to That's Good Sports. I'm your football dork, Brandon Perna, and today I'll be performing a deep dive for the predictions for the championship games and quickly power ranking the remaining teams. I'll expose strengths and weaknesses, and I promise to be better than I was last week with all of my terrible picks. And we will spin the curse wheel at the end of the episode, which did effectively eliminate the Packers from the playoffs last weekend. You're welcome, 49ers. That's good sports. Hey, do not subscribe to this YouTube channel. It'll be the worst mistake you've ever made. Also, if you want to support this channel, my coffee company, BenchwarmerBrew.com, I offer the best damn beans on earth. Check it out. The cheapest way to get my coffee is through the subscription service. It'll save you 25% off. And if you're passionate about your coffee, trust me, our beans are ethically sourced, craft roasted, specialty grade, organic, all the shit you need for it to be amazing. And I scheduled the Patreon and new YouTube member Zoom meeting. That info is on YouTube in the community tab and on Patreon. Thursday evening, we'll be doing the Zoom hangout. All right, 49ers versus Rams. I have the Niners power ranked at 3, the Rams power ranked at 2. We've got Jimmy G-Spot versus the Soul Snatcher. Now, the reason I'm ranking the Rams ahead of the 49ers is because of Matthew Stafford. But that doesn't necessarily mean I think the Rams will win. Now, they say beating a team 3 times in one season is one of the hardest things to do in the NFL. You know what I think is even harder? Having to beat a team that's had your number to the point where they've beaten you 6 times in a row, which the 49ers have done to the Rams. It turns out the old cliche isn't exactly true. Division rivals have met in conference title games 5 times when one team swept the other. And the team that swept the other in the regular season won 3 of those 5 matchups. So it's actually not that hard to beat a team 3 times. So I guess there's a reason. You already beat them twice. Even more stunning is that Kyle Shanahan coached a win against McVay's Rams in 2020 with Nick Mullins at QB. What's he gonna do now that he has 2 quarterbacks on the roster? Hopefully, the 49ers use Trey Lance in some exotic red zone packages. Now, the reason the 49ers beat the Rams twice this season is because they were able to pick Matthew Stafford 2 times in each of those games and actually threw the ball themselves as efficiently as they ran it. The 49ers were just 3-5 when they played the Rams on Monday Night Football back in Week 10, but that dominant 31-10 win put them on a collision course for this Sunday. In both of the regular season games, the Rams have had a Deebo Samuel problem. Week 10, Deebo ran for 36, had 97 receiving yards, and scored 2 touchdowns. In Week 18, Deebo rushed for 45, had 95 receiving yards, and scored another tutty. He's a chess piece in the 49ers offense because he's too versatile for the Rams to shadow him with Jalen Ramsey. And if Deebo returns kicks like he did against the Packers last week, he's going to add another dimension for the 49ers. 49ers D chess, baby. If the Rams win, they can spend 3 weeks at home in LA without having to get on a plane one time. That's pretty nice, and we know it helped the Buccaneers a year ago, but the Rams are acting a little insecure about their home stadium. The Rams have banned the sale of tickets to 49ers fans. So if they're successful, they should hit about 25% capacity on Sunday. I'm sorry, Rams fans, I really am, but the 49ers made your stadium look redder than Tom Coughlin's face at Lambeau last time they played. It was packed so tight with 49ers fans that Matthew Stafford said he had trouble hearing his own play calls. Yeah. Now that's a testament to how 49ers fans own California. the same way Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears. If Niners fans get that loud again, this Rams offense might lose some of its rhythm against a defense that already gives them trouble. Also, it'll be easier for guys like Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead to jump the snap count, and those guys do not need any extra advantages. They combined for 4 sacks, plus got an extra from former Rams Samson Ebukam, and overall, the 49ers D generated 18 pressures in the win against the Packers. Green Bay, though, was deploying a band-aided offensive line while the Rams gave up just 2 sacks, and will get Andrew Whitworth back at left tackle. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo will have to complete more than 11 passes to beat the Rams, unless Kyle Shanahan dials up 45 rushing attempts for Mitchell and Deebo. Or if the Rams fumble 4 times again. Just because they didn't fully self-destruct against the Bucks doesn't mean they won't against the 49ers. If Stafford can put up nearly 400 yards on the Buccaneers, I think the 49ers secondary is ripe for exploiting by way of 2 Odells, 1 Cooper Kupp. But here's why Rams fans should have hope and why 49ers fans should be terrified. 1, you won't have the weather slowing down Matthew Stafford like it did to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers offense. 2, and more troublesome, is playoff Von Miller. The Vonster had 10 pressures against the Buccaneers, 10 alone, which was a career high for Von Miller in the playoffs. In 2015, he had 8 and 8 in back-to-back games on his way to winning Super Bowl MVP after destroying Tom Brady and league MVP Cam Newton. The matchup to watch is 49ers right tackle Tom Compton versus Von Miller, or 49ers left tackle Trent Williams, who is a bit injured, versus Von Miller. The Rams have moved Von around, and I think there's a huge mismatch at right tackle with Compton, who gave up 2 sacks in the Packers game. So I'd like to see the Rams line Von up over there. Either way, George Kittle may be on full-time blocking duty for the Niners, which he's great at. But that takes away a huge offensive weapon for the 49ers in the passing game. Plus, I don't envision Kittle doing this to Von again. Rams kicker Matt Gay did fall short on a 47-yard field goal Sunday. However, during the regular season, he missed just 2 field goal attempts and 1 PAT, one of the best conversion rates in the league, which is why it doesn't make sense to me that California banned Matt Gay conversion therapy. He's so good at it, but maybe not as good as Robbie Gould. Perfect in the playoffs is Gould, and he's kicked a game winner against the Rams this season, in OT, last season, and the season before. He's the real Ram killer, and not even PETA can stop him. I want Von Miller to get back to the Super Bowl, desperately. I think the Rams are the better overall team, except at maybe the running back position. Aaron Donald is a game wrecker, but until I see it happen, I'm leaning towards the 49ers winning 27-24, and all that glitters is Robbie Gould. Then we've got the Bengals versus the Chiefs. Now I have the Bengals ranked as the power of 4, the 4th best team in the playoffs, and I have 9 good reasons to support it. And yes, the Chiefs are not only the best team, I think they are the healthiest team right now. CBS Sports pointed out that Patrick Mahomes has more postseason passing touchdowns than the Lions. That's not impressive, CBS, because the Lions are never in the fucking playoffs. Joe Flacco has more passing TDs in the playoffs than the Lions. You want to hear an actually impressive stat? Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson are now tied with 25 postseason passing TDs. The Bengals and the Chiefs played about a month ago, and that time they played in Cincy, and it was one of the more entertaining games of the season. In fact, the Bengals are the only team that's beaten Kansas City in the past 12 games. After that game, Patrick Mahomes told Joe Burrow, "See you in the playoffs." And he is a man of his word, and that's why he had to beat the Bills no matter what last weekend. Say what you want about Patrick Mahomes, but he keeps all of his promises. Quite the opposite of, say, LeBron James, who promised the city of Miami 7 championships and only gave them 2. Now, the Chiefs' defense allowed Gabe Davis to catch 4 touchdowns. So I'm estimating that Jamar Chase should find the end zone roughly 13 times on Sunday. But even if Jamar Chase is limited and has an off day, only scoring 3 or 4 times and only has 250 yards, T. Higgins was averaging 21 yards a reception the last time they met. I'm not going to put too much stock in this game because the Chiefs are a different beast in the playoffs. But anyone counting out the Bengals in this one have not been paying attention to the last month of football because they've evolved into an elite team. And they are the only team to ever do that without an offensive line. People think their pass protection is a weakness, but it's actually a strength. The more you sack Joe Burrow, the better he gets. He's the opposite of Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady. Plus, by allowing the defensive front to sack you so easily, so many times, they get tired. Derrick Henry did not wear down the Bengals. Oh, no. Joe Burrow wore down the Titans front after taking hit after hit after hit until they could no longer stand. That is literally the only way you can explain allowing 9 sacks in a playoff game. The Titans defense was getting pressure with just 4 guys most of the time. That's going to probably happen again against the Chiefs defense that's become pretty deadly up front with the midseason addition of Melvin Ingram. That defense obviously couldn't cover worth a shit in Week 17 against Cincy, but they did get to Joe Burrow and sacked him 4 times in that first game. Last week, the Chiefs sacked Josh Allen just twice, but a lot of that was the result of Allen using his sexy legs to escape crumbling pockets. Not something I think Joe Burrow is capable of. The real weakness for the Bengals is they cannot rely on Patrick Mahomes to Ryan Tannehill his way to 3 interceptions. In the last 8 games, Mahomes has only thrown 3 picks. Burrow has just 2 in that same stretch. But if A.J. Brown's production against the Bengals is any indicator of what Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and the mix and match deployment of Hardman and Pringle behind them can do, I fear at least 2 150-yard performers will emerge for the Chiefs ball catchers. Brown had 142, and he's really the only guy you have to worry about in the Tennessee passing game. You have to worry about every player in the Chiefs passing game. Now, the difference between Cincinnati and Buffalo is the Bengals have a better defensive front. Logan Wilson is their Matt Milano, but the interior with DJ Reader and BJ Hill can blow up the pocket. And can any of you imagine a DJ reading a book on a hill while getting a BJ? I can, and the book he's reading is 1984. To honor the last time period, the Bengals were very good. Mahomes was a fucking magician, escaping the pocket Sunday night, but I think Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard will be better at getting to him and hopefully actually tackling him. I think they can do it, maybe. If Kansas City wants to win comfortably, I think they'll have to steal a turnover against the Bengals offense that's good at taking care of the football, especially recently. Burrow's only interception in the last month might have hit the ground, and KC failed to force a single turnover against Allen, Burrow, and even Drew Lock. The only quarterback they've truly dominated recently was Ben Roethlisberger. And I'm sorry to break it to you, but you don't get to see him ever again. An X factor in this game for the Bengals might be Joe Mixon. I feel like we haven't talked about Joe Mixon for a while. And maybe Cincy leans on the run or even short passing game to Joe Mixon to take care of the Chiefs' pass rush and only have Joe Burrow sacked like 6 or 7 times. Joe Burrow is the coolest customer I've seen, but he's forced to reckon with the fact that if he loses this game, Jackson Mahomes will run onto the field and do a TikTok on Joe Burrow's torn ACL from last season. All the while, Mahomes' wife, Brittany, will be shooting champagne out of a fire hose at people who paid $20,000 for a ticket to the Super Bowl. And since they will be LA celebrities, they will be super pissed when they find out she's spraying them with cheap champagne and not Dom Perignon. The world cannot have that, and Joe Burrow is the only person standing in the way. In order to defeat the Grim Reaper, the Tiger King must channel his 2019 LSU performance when he eviscerated Oklahoma 63-28 in the college playoffs. Except this is Alabama. That said, Kansas City wins 35-32 unless the cursed spin wheel can take them down. So I've renumbered. We got Spinagins down here because there's only 4 teams left. This has got 10 spots. Nothing I could do about that. But who will be cursed for the championship games? Sorry, Packers fans, I really am. Oh no, it's the Bengals. No, wait. Oh no, it's the Rams. It's the Rams. Oh, I cursed the Rams. R.I.P. Von Miller and Matthew Stafford. Please prove that this thing is bullshit and just a gimmick I made up to get more views. Prove it. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. Make sure you click the video on the screen if you want to watch more of my crap. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, I'm there at Brandon Perna.